Before we jump into this, I'm gonna make a slight admission, and that slight admission is I did not like season 2 of Gen V. I think I said it before when I was talking about the show that I kind of figured out the plot and who exactly Godolkin was like around episode 2, and I was disappointed at the direction it was going in, and my brain just kind of checked out. But getting that out of the way, knowing that the characters from Gen V are going to be playing an important role in this final season of The Boys, I am very, very excited about that because I really want to see what direction they take Homelander and Marie's relationship in, since they are both two sides of basically the same project, where Homelander exists as basically the hammer or the sword, and then Marie exists as the healing and the shield, and both of them coming together would create, I would assume, like a demigod or something along those lines, where you have essentially the power to revive and reconstitute people with the absolutely insane crazy strength that Homelander possesses. But we're gonna jump into the final season trailer of The Boys. I'm super fucking excited. This month is stacked with things that are going to be coming out for us to watch. Let's go.
My power is absolute. At heights no one's even dreamed of. But I have a bigger destiny.
Oh, praise be. And what is it?
All right, let's get to work, yeah?
We think that Homelander is looking for the V1.
It's Vought's first iteration of Compound V. If Homelander got his hands on some, he'd be an immortal.
We need to run while we can, however we can.
Nah, we hit him with the virus while it still works and kill every fucking suit on the planet.
I need you, Father.
Did you fuck me?
What?
Is this some kind of incest thing?
No.
Then what the fuck is
Why? Why would that be the first thing that pops into his mind when he woke up? Like, out of all the scenarios, the last thing you remember is self-detonating yourself off the side of a tower, and then you wake up in Vought Tower in front of your son, and the first thing that pops into your mind is, did you fuck me? Is this a weird incest thing? Once again, Soldier Boy is probably going to be my favorite character this season.
this?
We need to prepare America for my ascension.
You one of us now?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him. Then fuck it, beat him.
This is our last chance. The only thing we have left is hope.
It's beta male shit, bro. War, am I right?
Those who seek to destroy me, and non-believers, and backstabbers. I offer oblivion.
You guys are friends?
You talk.
I'm not gonna fake A-Train. I wasn't expecting that shit easier either. Yo, hold on, bro. We gotta go back to here. Like, this gotta be the scariest shit on the face of the planet. This is some Brightburn level shit. I do not know. I'm telling you right now, this scene right here, of him flying through those trees, he is chasing A-Train. I am telling you right now, this scene of him flying through those trees with his eyes just glowing red, he is definitely, without question, he is chasing A-Train. This is definitely going to be the sequence where A-Train either gets seriously injured or he gets killed. I was really hoping that my boy would survive. He doesn't survive in the comic books. But I was really hoping that he would survive in the show. I feel as though he's gonna get his big superhero hero moment, and then he's gonna get cooked and he's going to die. There's another scene. Where is it? 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 There is another scene that I wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna have to go back and low-key find it. Here, right here. This is the cancer affecting Butcher's mind. Because you have to remember that one of the reasons why Butcher kind of took Huey under his ring, I can't speak today, under his wing, is because Huey reminds Butcher of his little brother that died. And there have been scenes from season 1 all up until the most recent season that shows that there's a part of Butcher that really, really, really wants to protect Huey. When he was going to kill himself, when him and Soldier Boy essentially teamed up and jumped Homelander at Herogasm, there is a moment where Soldier Boy is about to detonate and they both have Homelander down. And Butcher looks across Soldier Boy and he looks at Huey, who's on the other side, after telling him to get out of there. And he kind of lets up. This lashing out right here that we see is the cancer not liking Huey. Like the V cancer hates Huey because Huey is that last bit of Butcher that keeps him good or keeps him human. And I would bet that right here is Huey advocating against the use of the virus to wipe out all the suits on the planet because some of their friends are suits. Kimiko is a suit. Starlight is a suit. A-Train is a suit. People that they've become friends with as the series has progressed would also die from this attack. And that kind of super pisses off the cancer and it lashes out at Huey this way. Butcher himself would never have done this. Like, Butcher might throw a punch, but he never physically go out of his way to like cause crazy physical harm to Huey where he's just strangling him in the air. So that's like another aspect of the cancer making Butcher more aggressive, but then him also handing over the reins of his mind to this thing that he really didn't understand, but he was at basically the bottom of this sea of depression that he kind of just gave up. I'm also interested to see exactly what Ashley's powers are going to be, because we know that her powers are going to be hair based. I think that had leaked sometime last year that her powers are going to be hair based. I would bet money that her powers are somewhere along the lines of like Medusa. It's either going to be Medusa from Greek literature, where she's got tentacles and stuff coming out of her head, or it's going to be Medusa from the MCU, where she has control over her hair. It's going to be interesting to see what direction they go in. And then we also see Ryan, and we know that Ryan, he has grown so goddamn much, but we know that Ryan is going to be a part of Teen Team, which is the boys' version of Teen Titans / Young Justice. And there's going to be some big battle that takes place where all the members of Team end up dying in some horrific sense. So this may end up being that exact scenario that essentially occurs, where he's looking over the carnage of his team being basically annihilated. Then, of course, in the beginning, we see him talking to Firecracker about the fact that he has like this grand vision and this grand purpose. And now we know what it is that he's looking for, which is that he's looking for V1. V1 is the compound V that was used on Soldier Boy and Stormfront. It's one of the reasons why they don't age. It's one of the reasons why they are essentially and functionally immortal. I believe by the time this series arrived in season 1, we were already on, I think, either Compound V number 3 or Compound V number 4. We were on one of those, and then of course we got the offshoot, which is the one that Butcher and Huey were shooting up that gave them temporary superpowers. But V1 is what Frederick Vought initially worked on. It makes you completely immortal. Now, what they wanted to get around in regards to Homelander is that they wanted Compound V to be a part of the human genome, which is human beings living human lives, but with superpowers and the ability to have children that also possess superpowers. Um, Homelander doesn't want that. He's vain. He's angry. What he wants is V1 so that he can be immortal. What's her name? I can't remember her name. She's the mastermind, like the super genius for the team. Sister something, sister Sage. Sage points out the very first time that she sees Homelander, she's like, your hair's starting to go gray, so you're using like multiple bottles of hair dye to hide that. Your prostate's enlarged, you're going to the bathroom more often. It's one of the reasons why your hands are bigger. Like, she's pointing out all of these things that he's vain about because he has to be perfect. He has to be the perfect superhero. He has to have the perfect looks. He has to have the perfect PR. People have to love him. Everything about the way in which Homelander was conditioned as a child is that everything has to be perfect. He has to seek validation, and that validation that he's seeking has to come from all of these different sources, from the people around him, from his fans, from the way in which he looks, from the way in which he's portrayed in the media, everything. If any one of those aspects in some way, shape, or form isn't 100% perfect, he begins to spiral. He begins to lose his fucking mind. So him looking for V1 is essentially him attempting to be immortal so that he doesn't have to deal with the aging process anymore. And then of course, V1 made you wildly stronger than any of the subsequent versions of Compound V, which means that if he was to get his hands on V1, we'd be dealing with a version of Homelander that is just way more powerful than he was before. And then of course we see a scene here where somebody is getting shot up with V, and Sister Sage is watching them through the window. Interesting to see exactly who it is. We got A-Train running through the concentration camps that Homelander is sending his dissidents through. Two, he's probably searching for Huey and Kimiko and Frenchie, since they were all basically arrested and taken to these camps. And then we also see what looks like Vought soldiers. Can't tell from the symbol on the arm, but I do believe these are Vought mercenaries / soldiers that are killing all of the people at the camp. And then of course we get a shot of the cast from Gen V meeting up with Starlight, since we know that Starlight showed up at the end of like the last season. They're going to be working with her as an underground group, and I don't know how Marie is going to be able to fight Homelander, because yes, both of them are basically two different branches of Odessa. Where I said before, Homelander is very much the sword, where Marie is very much the shield. Her powers are control and resurrection and healing, whereas Homelander's powers are very much more offensive minded. Her blood manipulation would give her the ability to probably control Homelander and kill him, but we saw with what's her name? the last blood manipulator chick that Butcher killed at the end, Newman, we saw with Newman that her powers didn't work on Homelander. So I don't know whether or not Marie's powers are going to work on Homelander as well. It's also kind of crazy that the twin is still with her, since they kind of had a falling out at the end of last season. But then again, them switching back and forth between the male and female versions have always showed that both sides have always looked at things completely differently and have feelings about it differently. Where the male version of Jordan was like, yeah, no, like this is like the second time you done used your powers on us. There will not be a third. And the female side has always been a little bit more forgiving because she's actually in love with Marie, but we'll see where exactly that goes. We got more Firecracker. We got a little bit more Sister Sage. We've got Butcher absolutely fucking annihilating these people. And it seems as though he has more control over the tentacles than he did before. First off, Homelander having Soldier Boy in Homelander having Soldier Boy like on display in his apartment, it gotta be funny as hell. But him making the decision to basically wake him up and then Soldier Boy reacting that way, where he's just like, is this some incest type shit? Like, did you fuck me while I was out? This is why Jensen Ackles and Soldier Boy are legitimately like legitimately my favorite character from this series. We also get the fact that it looks like it's gonna be a round two between both him and Butcher. First off, and I do have something that I want to say, they all should be dead right here. When he throws that shield, unless this glass is bulletproof, that shield weighs about the same amount as the side panel on an Abrams tank. It is disgustingly heavy. Being able to throw this at that velocity, this shield should have cleared this entire car like butter. So unless Butcher's driving around in like a bulletproof car, this little piece of shit, what is it, a Crown Vic? This piece of shit car, Butcher, that shield should have like went through the window and annihilated whoever was directly in the line of sight in the back of the car. But it does seem as though Butcher is bulletproof, which means the durability that he had when he was taking the Temp V is definitely back, where he is bulletproof, which kind of low-key a little bit shocked Soldier Boy. But then the strength of the tentacles is also super crazy because he was able to pick up that car like it was nothing and hit Soldier Boy with the car. I'm hella excited for this season. Was that Mary? Mary walking behind them? No, it's just Mother's Milk, Starlight, Butcher, and Kimiko. I don't know how they're walking around with Butcher knowing that he doesn't have control of those fucking tentacles inside of his body. Where like we don't know what his motives are. I wouldn't be able to walk around with Butcher because I would constantly be like, what is this guy fucking up to? He's up to fucking something. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for this season. We see Starlight draining a absolute metric ton of power, which I don't think we've ever seen her. Season 1, when A-Train's doing the super speed thing, she was draining energy from the lights. We saw her draining energy from the lights again, but I don't think we've ever seen her go full electro and drain electricity this way, which is pretty fucking cool. She's about to zap somebody like a fucking noisy cricket. And the deep and the deep and fucking what you call it over here, Black Noir, having a men's red pill podcast where because he can't speak, he has to use a soundboard is the funniest thing ever. Because look at the soundboard. Like dub, T, bet, L, stop, bro, Bram? Fuck you, fuck that dead ass bitch, sus. I know you know. Fuck around and find out. What's wig? Cap, nah, op, for real. Says what? STFU. Like this soundboard is funny as hell. them having a podcast is funny as hell, especially since we know what his personality is like when he just genuinely talks. I definitely feel as though Black Noir 2 has mega grown on me since since he was initially introduced, and then also Stan Edgar still working in the shadows. I feel as though when this series is all done, and if they do defeat Homelander in the final episode, we're gonna see Stan once again at the head of some type of multi-billion-dollar corporation creating superheroes and just being completely fucking depressed and pissed off that he's basically all the way back at square one. But let me know what you guys think about the final what is this? The final season trailer for The Boys. Comment down below. Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.